Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojobaka. Government is seeking to raise over 5 billion cedis from the new 5 tax bills passed by Parliament. But looking at the current economic situation, is this target achievable? More in this report.
The VAT Amendment Bill, which seeks to review the application of VAT on some items and services, will bring in 3.7 million Ghana cedis by the end of next year. It is this same amendment bill that is seeking to place 21.9% VAT on non-life insurance business, which could result in motor insurance premiums going up by more than 30% from the beginning of next year. The revision of the rates on stamp duty may be the next tax item that could bring in some significant revenue to government. The Finance Ministry is seeking to raise about 653 million Ghana cedis from this tax. About 540 million Ghana cedis is expected to be secured from the excise duty bill. The Parliament has reviewed the items that should be captured under this tax. The emissions levy bill, which seeks to promote the use of eco-friendly tech and green energy, might help government mobilize 541 million Ghana cedis at the end of 2024. But for many, the biggest concern here is that will government be able to mobilize these taxes at the end of next year, looking at the current challenges facing the economy? According to the 2024 budget, government is planning to raise 176 billion Ghana cedis in taxes and grants at the end of next year.
A Business Desk report. Meanwhile, tax analyst Francis Timoboy has stated that he does not see this as a challenge for government when it comes to mobilizing the required revenue.
On the account that we have passed them and it is likely to start very early next year, I would say yes. Because if you look at 2023, all the revenue measures that we passed.
Tax analyst Francis Timoboy there. Now, former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor is raising concerns about the outlook of the energy sector. This follows government's assurance that it has put in place measures to prevent sustained power outages in the coming months, as well as dealing with financial challenges facing the Electricity Company of Ghana. But Dr. Kwabena Donkor says he is not convinced by these assurances from government.
It is not just the load shedding. We have fundamental issues with the energy sector. One, we are not recovering costs. Remember, the payables in the energy sector are dollar denominated. The receivables are cedi denominated. And therefore, whilst your payables are dollar denominated, your receivables are cedis. So you are going to need a lot more cedis to pay for your IPP and all the other charges. That is one. Two, there is such huge inefficiency. For example, ECG loses nearly 30% of all the power they buy before it hits the customer.
Are you worried about the outlook of this sector going forward?
Absolutely. Because first of all, we are not getting the needed investment. There is no managerial drive to reduce costs. And there is all this legal baggage that we are carrying along because of the recklessness of officialdom.
Former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor. To some other stories, the economy continues to show signs of strong recovery. This is based on a new report by the Bank of Ghana covering economic activities for the third quarter of this year. More in this report.
The central bank's own tool, which tracks economic activities in the country, showed that domestic activities had improved for the third quarter of 2023 compared to the same period in 2022, however at a slow pace. The Bank of Ghana, for instance, cites indicators like consumer spending, manufacturing activities, industrial consumption of electricity, and international tourist arrivals, which picked up during the third quarter review. Another development that can be described as significant is the fact that consumer spending measured by domestic VAT collections and retail sales improved significantly compared to the same period in 2022. Again, other macro indicators like the trade numbers were also doing well. The report, for instance, showed that countries' trade surplus picked up strongly for the last quarter of this year compared to the same period in 2022. The Bank of Ghana even puts the country's international reserves at $4.9 billion, despite these numbers showing that the economy is on a strong path to recovery. There were also data from other sectors which could back arguments that Ghana is not out of the woods yet when it comes to the economy.
A Business Desk report. Economist Professor Peter Quartey has advised government to make investments in agriculture input a priority. Citing fertilizer as an example, he argued that the sector could see a massive improvement if farmers are supplied with the input on time at affordable prices. Speaking to Joy Business, he expressed that farmers may have good harvest if the weather is favorable.
And not surprised, we have been, depending on rain-fed agriculture. And we saw how much rains recorded in the second and third quarter. So certainly, all things being equal, we expect yield to improve. I don't think we have invested so much into fertilizers like we used to do. If you speak with the farmers, you realize the supply of inputs. And because we're facing financial challenges, we've not been supplying enough fertilizers, etc., like we used to do. So Agric suffered some reduction in investment. Nevertheless, because we witnessed a very good weather, production has increased considerably, and that is a good sign.
Professor Peter Quartey is an economist. Now, some banks are taking measures to raise additional funds in line with the new capital requirement from the Bank of Ghana. ADB, for instance, is moving to raise up to 2 billion cedis from shareholders through right issue. It is hoping to hold an extraordinary meeting come Thursday, December 28, 2023, to get shareholders approved for this transaction. The bank will be seeking shareholders' approval so the board can move and buy some shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange. This move is, however, subject to securing the necessary regulatory and market approvals. The Bank of Ghana recently announced that banks may have to have up to 2 years to fully recapitalize to the new levels. Some stakeholders in the agri sector have reiterated calls for more investments in training and capacity building of the youth. Associate Professor of Agribusiness Management at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, James Osei-Mensah, made the call after witnessing the 2023 AgriTech Challenge.
Interestingly, I have seen over the past 5 years a new generation of young people who are ready to cause change in the agricultural space. And that is what gives me the interest. That is what motivates me to continue to serve in this capacity. So whilst it is difficult to get the average person to venture into agri, there is a new crop that are coming up and they are ready to cause changes in the agricultural space by investing their time and by being patient and giving their businesses the time to grow. That is motivating. At the macro level, are we formulating and implementing the needed policies to boost these young and nurture these startups? Yes, some things are being done, but I think we can do more as a country.
James Osei-Mensah is an associate professor of agribusiness management at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Ending the Joy Business Report. Before we go, the EcoBank salary account is a special account designed for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank salary account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account plus many more. EcoBank salary account gives workers free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 cedis, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, high interest on savings, no minimum balance, ability to save through the EcoBank Save as you spend, a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent or temporary disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close the existing accounts to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank salary account. Just ask your brand to switch your existing account to the EcoBank salary account. Non-EcoBank account holders should approach any EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank salary account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. Call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003 225 whenever, wherever for further details. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. I am Pius Kojo Baka, and we are crossing over to the Abri Botanical Gardens.